Stop everything you are doing right now. Sit down, take a deep breath, because what is about to happen in the next few minutes is not by accident. You did not find this video. This video was sent to find you. And the moment your eyes locked onto this screen, something invisible shifted in the spiritual realm. The angels assigned to your life stood up. The atmosphere over your home changed. And I, the Lord your God, leaned closer to where you are sitting right now. You have been waiting for a sign. Do not deny it. For weeks, maybe even months, something deep inside of you has been whispering that a change was coming. You have been praying in silence, crying when no one was watching, holding on by a thread that only you knew about. And in the middle of all that exhaustion, in the middle of all those nights when you wondered if I could even hear you anymore, I was preparing this exact moment. So tell me something. Why is it that you cannot sleep the same way you used to? Why is it that the same things that once entertained you no longer satisfy your soul? Why is it that your spirit feels stretched, like it is reaching for something bigger than the life you have been living? Have you not felt, deep inside, that you were created for more than this? I see you. I see the version of you that the world has never met. I see the dreams you stopped speaking about because people laughed. I see the gift you buried because life became too heavy. I see the calling that has been waiting under the surface of your skin like a sleeping fire. And today, the fire is about to be lit. The heavens have opened over you, not metaphorically, not poetically, literally. There is a corridor of light that has been carved through the spiritual realm, and it is descending right now over the place where you are. Angels are positioned at the four corners of your home. The walls of your house are being marked with my seal. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have never entered, and the silence that surrounded your life for so long is about to be broken. Forever. For years, your name was whispered in heaven, but ignored on earth. For years, the people around you looked past you, underestimated you, dismissed you. They saw the surface. They never saw the chosen soul behind your eyes. They never saw the assignment written on your back before you were even born. But that is about to change, because the season of being overlooked is over. The season of being doubted is closing. And the season of being talked about for the right reasons is beginning right now. You are not a regular soul. You never were. You were marked. You were sealed. You were set apart. And the very reason your life has been so hard, the very reason the enemy fought you so violently, is because he knew what was inside of you. He knew that if you ever discovered the power that I placed within your spirit, you would shake the rooms he has been ruling for too long. So he kept you tired, he kept you confused, he kept you small, he kept you focused on bills, on betrayals, on fears, on regrets. Anything to keep you from looking up. But today, you are looking up. So I need you to do something for me, right now, wherever you are. Place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat. That heartbeat is not random. That heartbeat is a drumbeat of destiny that I personally tuned before you took your first breath. And every single beat of that heart is my promise to you that I am not finished. I am not done. I am not gone. Type in the comments, I received this message, because what comes next in this video is going to unlock something that has been locked in your spirit for years. By the end of this message, your name will not sound the same in your own mouth. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, all of it is about to be touched by the hand that formed the stars. And before we continue, if this message touched your heart in any way, there's a link in the description where you can make a small donation to support this channel and help this message reach more people. Any amount truly makes a huge difference. Now listen carefully, because the next warning could change everything. My dear son, listen to me with the deepest part of your soul, because what I am about to tell you is the foundation of everything else I will reveal in this message. Before you were placed inside your mother's womb, before the first cell of your body was formed, before the doctors handed your tiny frame into the arms of the people who would raise you, your name was already being spoken in heaven, not casually, not in passing. Your name was written in the books of my kingdom with a purpose so specific that no other human being who has ever lived could ever fulfill it but you. I know what they told you about yourself. I know the labels that were placed on you when you were too young to defend yourself. The teacher who said you would never amount to anything. The relative who compared you to your siblings and made you feel like the leftover. The friend who left when life got hard and made you believe you were too much to love. The voice in your own head that over the years became louder than my voice. All of those labels are about to be peeled off your spirit like dead leaves falling from a tree in autumn. Because they were never your real name. Your real name is the one I whispered over you while you were still being knitted together. Your real name carries weight in the heavenly realms. Your real name makes demons take a step back. Your real name moves angels into formation. And the reason your life has felt so heavy, the reason you have wrestled with anxiety that no one else seems to understand, the reason you have carried a quiet kind of grief that you cannot fully explain to the people closest to you, it is because the weight of your true calling has been pressing on a soul that has not yet been allowed to stand fully upright. Today, I am calling you upright. Look at where you are sitting right now. Look at the room around you, the walls, the ceiling, the floor beneath your feet, the bills that are stacked somewhere in your home, the phone that buzzes with reminders of responsibility, the kitchen where you have prepared meal after meal, sometimes wondering how the next month will be paid for. I see all of it. I see the American life you are living. The long shifts, the morning traffic, the silent prayers you whisper in your car between errands. I see the version of you that no one on social media ever gets to see. The version of you that has held it together for the family. The version of you that has carried everyone else even when no one was carrying you. And I want you to know something. I have been watching every single one of those moments, every tear, every sigh, every late night when you stared at the ceiling and asked me where I was. I was there. I was always there. And every single one of those moments was being recorded, not against you, but for you, because the heaviness you carried was preparing the shoulders that would soon carry an anointing. The pain you survived was carving the depth that would soon receive a glory. The silence you endured was the womb where your authority was being formed. The heavens have whispered your name for a long time, and today the whisper is becoming a declaration. I want you to place your hand over your heart right now and declare with me, I'm chosen, I'm called, I am known by the God who made the heavens. Feel that. Feel the warmth that begins to rise in your chest when you say those words. That warmth is not your imagination. That warmth is my spirit responding to your agreement. Because every time you agree with what I say about you, the chains that the enemy wrapped around your destiny begin to crack. And right now, in this very moment, chains are cracking off of you. Chains of doubt, chains of comparison, chains of inferiority, chains of fear. They are falling at your feet, and you are standing taller in the spirit than you have stood in years. The world is about to meet a version of you that has been hidden for too long. Not the version that apologizes for existing, not the version that shrinks to make other people comfortable, not the version that settles for crumbs when a banquet was prepared. The version that is rising now is the version I always saw, confident, anointed, equipped, and dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. And this is only the beginning. Because before your name is spoken on earth in the way it deserves to be spoken, I must first teach you what to do with the silence that preceded it. Type in the comments, "My name is known in heaven." My dear daughter, I want you to lean in close, because this chapter contains an answer that you have been begging me for in private. You have asked me again and again why your season has been so long, why the doors that opened so easily for others remained closed for you, why you watched people with half your gift, half your faithfulness, half your heart, walk into rooms you have prayed about for years. You have asked me if I forgot you, if I overlooked you, if somehow you were the exception to my promises. And tonight I am going to answer you with a tenderness that you have not allowed yourself to receive in a long time. You were not forgotten. You were being formed. There is a difference, my daughter, between a person who is delayed and a person who is being developed. The delayed person is waiting on circumstances to change. The developed person is being changed by the wait. And while you thought I was silent, I was not. I was sculpting, I was sanding, I was strengthening, because the assignment I have prepared for you cannot be carried by the woman you were 5 years ago. It cannot be carried by the woman you were 2 years ago. It cannot even be carried by the woman you were 6 months ago. The assignment required a depth of character that only the silent years could produce. Think back. Go back in your memory to the moments when you cried out and heard nothing. The night you sat in your car after a long shift and asked me if any of it was worth it. The morning you opened the mail and saw another bill that did not match the size of your paycheck. The conversation with a relative that left you feeling like a stranger inside your own family. The Sunday you walked into church wearing a smile that hid a soul barely holding on. Every one of those moments built something in you that nothing else could have built. Resilience, compassion, discernment, a backbone strong enough to carry glory without bending. I never wasted a single tear that you cried. The enemy wanted you to interpret your silent years as evidence of my absence. But the silent years were actually evidence of my investment. A coach does not pour his deepest training into the players he has no intention of putting on the field. A teacher does not push his most rigorous lessons onto the students he believes will never graduate. And I, your father, did not allow you to walk through what you walked through because I did not love you. I allowed it because I knew exactly what I was building inside of you. Look at your hands. Look at your fingers. Those hands have served people who never said thank you. Those hands have prepared meals for family members who took you for granted. Those hands have wiped tears from cheeks that never wiped yours in return. Those hands have worked jobs that did not match your worth, in environments that did not honor your gift. And I saw every single hour of it. Now I am about to anoint those hands. Now I am about to put weight in those hands. Now I am about to fill those hands with assignments that only a developed soul could carry without dropping. You see, the world rewards visibility, but heaven rewards faithfulness in invisibility. And the reason your name is about to begin being spoken in places you never even knew existed is because you proved in the silent years that you would still love me when no one was clapping. You proved that you would still pray when no one was listening. You proved that you would still believe when no one was confirming. And that kind of soul cannot be hidden forever. That kind of soul, sooner or later, must be revealed. Today is part of the revealing. Right now, I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly, and feel the heaviness begin to lift from your shoulders. Because the season that wore you down is officially being closed behind you. The door of the silent years is shutting, and a new door, wider, brighter, more crowded with witnesses, is opening in front of you. Do not look back. Do not mourn what felt wasted. Nothing was wasted. Every single drop of patience you poured into the unseen places is now being collected, multiplied, and returned to you with interest you cannot calculate. Say it out loud right now. My silence was not my end. My silence was my foundation. Now feel the agreement of heaven settle over your house. Feel the angels confirming that statement, because what was built quietly is about to be revealed loudly. What was hidden for protection is about to be displayed for glory. And the same people who never saw you in the silent years are about to see you in the season of my naming. Type in the comments, "I trust the process of my God." My dear son, now that you understand that your silent years were sacred, I am going to reveal to you the second secret. There is a fire inside of you, and I do not say this poetically. I do not say this as a figure of speech. I mean it literally, deep within your spirit, in a chamber that no human eye has ever seen. I placed a flame on the day I formed you. That flame is the fire of my calling on your life. It has been burning slowly, quietly, sometimes flickering low, sometimes flaring bright, but it has never gone out. Not once, not in your darkest hour, not in your worst betrayal, not in your loneliest night. The fire has been waiting. Have you not felt it? In the moments when you should have been broken beyond repair, something inside of you kept you standing. In the moments when other people in your same circumstances gave up, walked away, lost their faith, something in you kept you praying. In the moments when the doctor's report came, when the eviction notice came, when the unexpected loss came, you trembled, you wept, you crumbled, but you did not stay down. Something inside of you rose. That something was the fire. That fire is the reason you are still here, still believing, still listening to this message right now. The enemy has known about this fire from the very beginning. He has seen it from across the spiritual realm, and he has been afraid of it. That is why he sent so many storms into your life. Not because he hated you for being weak, but because he feared you for being strong. He never feared the version of you that the world saw. He feared the version of you that I created. And every attack you have ever survived was an attempt to extinguish a flame that he knew deep down was unextinguishable. Today, the fire is no longer going to burn in secret. Today, the fire is about to be released through your eyes, through your words, through your hands, through your presence in any room you enter. People are going to feel something when you walk in. They will not always know what it is. They may not always like what it is, but they will feel it, because a soul that carries the fire of God does not blend in. A soul that carries the fire of God does not need to announce itself. The atmosphere shifts when that soul arrives. I want you to think about Moses, the one I sent to confront the most powerful king of his time. Before he was the man who parted seas, he was a shepherd in the desert for 40 years. 40 years. He thought his story was over. He thought the dream of his youth had died in the wilderness, but the fire was never gone. It was only waiting for the right bush. And when the moment came, the same man who had given up on himself stood before kings and made nations tremble. That is how I work. I do not waste the desert. I use the desert to make the fire unforgettable. You have been in your own desert. Your version of it might be a job that drained you, a relationship that depleted you, a season of grief that hollowed you out, a financial wilderness where every month felt like survival, a spiritual dryness where you wondered if you would ever feel close to me again. But just like Moses, the fire in you was never extinguished by the desert. It was being refined, and just like Moses, you are about to step into a moment where the fire that has been quietly burning becomes the fire that visibly speaks. Right now, place your hand on your stomach. That is the place where I told my prophets the rivers of living water would flow. And I want you to declare with me, I carry the fire of God. I am a flame that the enemy cannot put out. Feel that vibration in your spirit. Feel the heat rising. Because as you make that declaration, the angels around you are stoking the embers. Anything that the enemy has tried to dump on your fire, discouragement, distraction, doubt, addiction, depression, comparison, is being burned away right now. The fire is being fed by my breath. The fire is being widened by my word. And the version of you that walks out of this moment is not the same version that walked into it. Some of you watching this are about to discover gifts you did not know you had. Some of you are about to feel passion return to your heart that you thought died years ago. Some of you are about to look in the mirror and see, for the first time in a long time, the face of a chosen one staring back, because the fire in you is no longer hidden. The fire in you is rising, and the people in your life are about to see, by the way you walk, that something supernatural has been ignited. Type in the comments, "The fire of God is rising in me." My dear daughter, what I'm about to show you in this chapter is so close to your present moment that if you pay close attention, you will begin to recognize the early signs of it already happening around you. There is a shift, a real shift, not a feeling, not a hope, a spiritual event that is being executed in the heavenly realm at this very moment over your life. And by the time it fully manifests in the physical, it will be too late for any enemy to stop it. The shift is not loud at first. That is what fools the people around you. The shift begins quietly, like the first breath of wind that moves the leaves before a storm. It begins with small things, a peace you have not felt in years that suddenly visits you in the morning. A clarity about a decision that has been confusing you for months. A reduction in the noise of anxiety in your head. A strange new confidence when you walk into rooms that used to intimidate you. These are not random. These are the opening movements of the shift. The people in your life will not understand it. Some of them will think you are going through a phase. Some of them will assume you are pretending. Some of them, the ones whose comfort depended on your smallness, will begin to feel uneasy. They will not be able to put words to it. They will just sense that something about you is different. The way you carry yourself, the way you respond, the way you no longer chase what you used to chase, the way you no longer beg for seats at tables that I am preparing to remove you from anyway. Because here is what no one has told you, my daughter. When I shift you, I do not only shift your circumstances, I shift you, the internal you, the you that decides, the you that interprets, the you that hopes. And once I have shifted the inside, the outside cannot remain the same for long. Your bank account cannot remain the same. Your home cannot remain the same. Your relationships cannot remain the same. Your influence cannot remain the same. The shift on the inside forces a shift on the outside. That is heaven's order. I want you to picture a chessboard for a moment. Imagine a board where, for years, the enemy thought he had you trapped. He moved his pieces strategically around your life. The piece of financial pressure, the piece of family conflict, the piece of unanswered prayer, the piece of betrayal, the piece of physical exhaustion. He arranged them carefully, believing he had cornered you, but there was a piece he did not see. A piece I was holding off the board until the perfect moment, and the piece I am about to place is the move that flips the entire game in your favor with a single motion. That move is being made right now. You may not see it yet in your bank statement. You may not see it yet in your job. You may not see it yet in the conversations that have been hurting you. But the move has been made. And what is happening in the spiritual realm always shows up in the physical realm, sooner or later, always. The question is only whether you will recognize it when the first evidence arrives. So let me prepare you. Let me sharpen your eyes. Let me wake up your discernment so that when the doors begin to open, you do not mistake them for coincidence. Look for unexpected phone calls from people you have not heard from in years. That is not random. Look for opportunities that come from directions you did not expect. That is not random. Look for sudden favor from people who used to ignore you. That is not random. Look for the rising of names you did not lobby for. Your own name being spoken in rooms you have never entered. That is not random. That is the shift manifesting. And while the favor begins to land on you, do not forget the ones who walked with you through the silent years, the faithful few, the ones who prayed for you when you could not pray for yourself, the ones who never benefited from your seasons of struggle but stayed anyway. I am going to bless them too through you, because the shift I am performing on your life is not only for you, It is a shift wide enough to bring others into the light with you. That is how I make chosen souls. I do not lift them alone. I lift them as a doorway. Place your hand over your forehead and declare with me, the shift is here. The shift is real. The shift is mine. Feel the air around you change. Feel the lightness enter the room. Because the gears of your destiny are turning with such force right now that even if no human ear can hear it, all of heaven can. And what heaven sees, the earth must eventually acknowledge. Type in the comments, the shift is happening in my life. My dear son, now we arrive at the part of the message that you have been silently dreaming about for years, even when you would not allow yourself to say it out loud. There is a moment, and it is approaching faster than you realize, when the people who never saw you will be forced to see you. Not because you fought to be seen, not because you begged for their attention, not because you proved yourself to them, but because the glory I am placing on your life will become impossible to ignore. Light has a property, my son. Light does not have to announce itself. Light does not have to defend itself. Light does not have to argue with the darkness. Light simply enters a room, and the darkness has no choice but to retreat. That is the kind of light I'm about to release through you. And the very people who looked past you for years are going to find themselves unable to look away. I want you to picture a specific scene. Imagine a room in your future. It is a room that today you have never been in. It might be a workplace, it might be a church, it might be a family gathering, it might be a business meeting, it might be a place of recognition you cannot yet name. In that room, your name is being spoken before you arrive. People are saying things about you that today you would not even believe. They are not saying these things because you have been promoting yourself. They are saying these things because heaven has begun to release reports about you. Heaven has its own publicity, and heaven's publicity is more powerful than any earthly platform. Some of the people in that room will be allies you have not yet met, hearts I have prepared for years to receive you, connections that will move your life forward in ways no resume could have achieved, doors that will open with a single conversation that you could not have forced open with a decade of effort. Other people in that room will be old voices, voices from your past, who suddenly remember your name and reach out, not because they care, but because the favor of God is so visible on you that it forces a response. Be careful, my son, when those calls come. Discernment will be everything. Some of those who return will return for reconciliation, and I will guide your heart on whether to welcome them. Others will return because they sense the rise and want to attach themselves to a glory they refused to support when it was a seed. Treat both kinds with grace, but do not be naive. Not every door I open is a door for them. Some doors I open are mine alone to walk through, and you will walk through them with my counsel guiding every step. And here is what will surprise you most. As your light begins to shine, the very weaknesses you were ashamed of will become the most powerful parts of your testimony. The struggles you tried to hide, the seasons of poverty, the mistakes of your youth, the moments of breakdown, the doubts you fought through, all of it will become evidence of my faithfulness when people see where you are now compared to where you have been. Your scars will preach louder than your accomplishments. Your healing will be more compelling than your success, because a chosen soul who walks in transparency about the road I brought them down becomes a living sermon that no professional speaker can compete with. There will be moments, my son, when you walk into a place and feel the eyes of the room turn. There will be moments when strangers approach you and say things like, "There is something different about you. I cannot explain it." That something is my presence resting on your skin. There will be moments when children look at you longer than they look at others, because children see more clearly in the spirit than adults do. There will be moments when even the animals in your home behave differently around you, because the anointing rests not only on the man, but on the atmosphere the man carries. Place your hand over the top of your head right now, where I anoint my priests. Declare with me, I am marked with the light of God. I carry glory that cannot be hidden. And as you say those words, see, in your spirit, the oil of my anointing being poured slowly over the crown of your head. Feel it run down your forehead. Feel it cover your shoulders. Feel it saturate every part of you that the enemy once shamed. The oil seals what the fire ignited. The oil declares what heaven has already decided. You are no longer ordinary, my son. You are no longer invisible. You are no longer overlooked. Type in the comments, "My light will be seen." If you feel these messages are strengthening your faith, consider supporting this work through the donation link in the description. It's because of people who support this channel that we're able to continue bringing these words to thousands of souls every single day. May God multiply everything you give with love. My dear daughter, I would not be a faithful father if I did not warn you about the side of this rising that few teachers will mention. When the light I have placed in you begins to shine, when your name begins to travel, when the favor I have prepared for you begins to land, there will be opposition. Not because I have failed to protect you, but because the very nature of glory provokes a response in the kingdom of darkness. Where light increases, demons gather to test whether the carrier of the light truly knows who she is. And tonight, I am preparing you so that when the test comes, you will not flinch. Let me show you something in the spiritual realm. Around your life right now, there are spirits that have studied you. They know your patterns, they know your weak points, they know which words wound you, which memories trigger you, which insecurities still flare up when poked. They have used these against you for years. But what they do not know is that I have been retraining your responses without telling them. I have been quietly upgrading your discernment. I have been silently fortifying your boundaries. And the day they come at you with the same weapons that used to work, those weapons will hit air. They will hit nothing. Because the woman who used to be there is no longer there. I want you to understand a principle, my daughter. The enemy does not fight the unimportant. He does not waste his resources on souls who pose no threat to his kingdom. The fact that you have endured the level of attack you have endured is not evidence that you are cursed. It is evidence that you are dangerous to plans that have been running in your bloodline for generations. Dangerous to systems of darkness that have operated in your region for decades. Dangerous to a network of deception that you, by simply walking in the light, are about to dismantle. So when the attacks intensify, and some of them will as you rise, do not be surprised. Do not be shaken. Do not think you did something wrong. The intensification is confirmation. The opposition is a compliment. It is hell's reluctant acknowledgement that you are no longer harmless, and the same God who carried you through the silent years is more than capable of carrying you through the loud ones. Now hear me carefully. Some of your enemies will not be supernatural at all. Some will be human. Some will be people who used to love you. Some will be people who used to walk with you in the same circles. Some will be voices on the phone, voices in your inbox, voices in your own family. They will not always know that they are being used as instruments. They will believe their own justifications. But the spirit moving through them will be unmistakable to anyone with eyes that see. And I am giving you those eyes right now. Do not engage them on their terms, my daughter. Do not defend yourself in every conversation. Do not chase down every misunderstanding. Do not waste your fire on people who only came to drain it. The enemy's favorite trick is to bait the chosen into spending their power on small fights so that no power is left for the big calling. You will not fall for that trick. You will recognize the bait. You will keep walking. And here is the most beautiful part. The very enemies who once stood loud and confident over your life are about to bow, not because they have repented, not because they have changed, but because the authority I am about to release on your name will leave them no other option. Some of them will see your name in a place they cannot reach. Some of them will hear of opportunities flowing to you that they cannot block. Some of them will eventually find themselves needing something from the very person they once dismissed. And in that moment, my daughter, you will not gloat. You will not throw their words back at them. You will remember what I taught you. You will respond with the dignity of one who has already been vindicated. Because the vindication of the chosen is not noisy. It is steady. It is undeniable. It is the kind of vindication that does not need to argue, because the evidence is in the air. I want you to place both hands over your head and declare with me, "No weapon formed against me will prosper. The Lord fights for me." Feel the wall of fire rise around your home as you say those words, around your children, around your spouse if you are married, around your parents, around your job, around your finances, around every area of your life that the enemy once whispered to and touched. The fire is my fire. The fire does not negotiate. The fire does not allow negotiation. And from this day forward, anything that tries to enter your life with destructive intent must first pass through a fire it cannot pass through. Some of you watching this message right now are going to wake up in the morning and realize that something that was tormenting you yesterday no longer has access to you today. You will not be able to explain it logically. You will only know that the heaviness is gone, the fear is gone. The familiar tormentor that returned again and again is silent. That is because while you were watching this video, I was issuing a decree, and my decrees do not return void. Type in the comments, "God is my defender." My dear son, we have arrived at the final chapter, and I want you to receive what I'm about to say with the deepest reverence your soul can produce. Because what I am releasing in these closing words is not only for the rest of this year, it is not only for the rest of this decade, it is for the rest of your earthly life and beyond. There is a book in heaven, a book where the names of those who have been set apart for my purposes are written by my own hand. And tonight, the angel beside me has confirmed something that I want you to hear clearly. Your name is in that book. It was placed there before the foundation of the world, and nothing can erase it. The world has tried to define you by many names, by the name of your past, by the name of your failures, by the name of your finances, by the name of your last relationship, by the name of the place you were born, by the name of the family you came from. But none of those names are your true name. Your true name is the one I gave you in the heavenly chambers, and from this day forward, that is the name you will answer to. The labels of the world will become whispers in the background. The voice of your true name will be the dominant frequency of your life. When I write a name among the chosen, my son, I do not write it lightly. I do not write it carelessly. I write it because I have seen the entirety of that soul, the past, the present, and the future, and I have determined that this soul is worth the investment of my glory. The fact that your name is written there means that I, the God of heaven, have looked at your life from beginning to end and said yes. Yes to the calling. Yes to the assignment. Yes to the breakthrough. Yes to the legacy. Yes to the generations that will come after you because of how you walk in obedience now. I want you to imagine what your life looks like 1 year from today, walking fully in this revelation. The bills that intimidate you now will not have the same grip on you then. The relationships that drain you now will either be transformed or removed. The dreams that have been deferred will begin moving with a speed that makes your head spin. The conversations you have been afraid to have will be initiated by my boldness through your mouth. The doors you have been waiting for will not all open in one moment, but they will open in such a rhythm that even the most skeptical people in your life will begin to admit quietly that something supernatural is at work. Imagine your family 2 years from today. The children, yours or those in your sphere, will look at you with eyes that recognize the change. The legacy that you were not sure you would be able to leave will begin to take shape. The financial inheritance you wondered if you would ever build will become a real and growing thing. The spiritual inheritance, the prayers prayed, the testimonies told, the examples set, will become a covering that protects your descendants long after you are gone. Imagine yourself 5 years from today, walking in a fullness that today you cannot even fully picture, sitting in rooms you used to drive past, speaking to people you used to admire from a distance, receiving phone calls that confirm provisions you were once afraid to ask for, watching, with tears in your eyes, the moment when one of your dreams becomes so real that you have to sit down to catch your breath. That moment is coming. It is not a wish, it is a written reality. It only requires that you keep walking in agreement with what heaven has spoken. Place your hand over your heart one more time. Feel the heartbeat that I tuned. Feel the warmth that has been rising throughout this message. Feel the difference in the atmosphere of the room you are sitting in, and declare with me, with everything you have inside of you, I am chosen. My name is written in heaven. My power will be seen. My name will be talked about for the glory of my God, and I will walk in this revelation from this day forward. The heavens are responding to that declaration right now. The angels are recording it. The enemy is being put on notice, and the seal of my approval is being pressed into your spirit like wax sealing a royal letter. Nothing can break that seal. Nothing can erase that mark. You are sealed. You are sent. You are about to be seen. Type in the comments, I am a chosen soul. And before we finish, I want to sincerely thank everyone who supports this mission. If you would like to help us continue spreading these messages to the world, there is a donation link in the description. Your support keeps this channel alive and allows more people to receive hope, comfort, and spiritual guidance. May heaven bless you and your family.